So let's say that I had something like f of x equals, let's say 6 minus, how about 2/3 x to the power of 5. And the goal is to find f inverse prime of x. But recall by our definitions that f inverse prime of x is equal to 1 over f prime of f inverse of x. So this is what they want, which is equal to this. So let's just give them this instead. What is this saying? This is saying go 1 divided by the derivative of the inverse. So first of all, we need to know what the inverse is. So let's go down here. I know that f of x equals 6 minus 2/3 x to the power of 5. With your permission, I'll just call f of x y. Now, if I want to find the inverse, I take x and y and I switch them. So this is x and this is y. And now the goal is to solve for y. Let me add this term to this side and let me subtract x to the other side. So I have 2/3 y to the 5th equals that. I'll multiply both sides by the reciprocal, which is 3/2. And then I will raise both sides to the power of 1/5 to eliminate that undesired power of 5. And now this is actually y, this is the inverse. So this is actually f inverse of x, which equals 3/2 6 minus x to the power of 1/5. So this is the inverse of the original. Now I'll take this and I'll deposit it right there. So the goal is, this is the goal, which equals this. So by substitution, I have 1 there over f prime of, now what goes in here? F inverse, which is this. So I have 3/2 times 6 minus x to the power of 1/5. And what am I supposed to do here? Well, I'm supposed to plug this into the derivative. So I need some more work actually. Let me open up another column. I found the inverse, which was all this, but I also have to know the derivative. So f prime of x, the derivative of this here, the derivative of the original, well, that's 0 because that's a constant. That times that would be negative 10/3 x to the power of 4. Right, the power rule. So let's see, so I have equals 1 over, so I'm supposed to take this stuff here and plug it into the derivative, meaning right there. So I have negative 10/3, and then I have some stuff raised to the power of 4, right, some stuff. But what am I supposed to plug into here? All of that. So this is 3/2 6 minus x to the power of 1/5. Could I clean this up? Let's see, I could do a couple of things. 1 over, how about I do this, watch. That power of 4 only applies to the stuff inside, not to this. So I can actually get rid of this by multiplying top and bottom by its reciprocal. Negative 3 over 10, negative 3 over 10. Because that knocks this out, and I have negative 3/10 up here as a matter of fact, instead of the 1. Now in the bottom, I'll raise 4. Everything's raised to the power of 4. So that's 3 to the 4th, which is 81. 2 to the 4th, which is 16, times 6 minus x to the power of 4/5. And in like fashion, I'll go 16/81. 16/81, these knock out. So I have negative 48 over 810 sitting on top of 6 minus x to the 4/5. If you want, I could drop the 810 down below. Pardon the sloppy writing, but that would constitute my final answer right here in the bottom.